Okay, my fellow teacher friends. So in this video, I want to show you an unusual way that I teach vocabulary. And I have never seen many teachers do this. In fact, I've never seen any teachers do this. So this might be brand new for some of you and kind of a just different way of getting our students to augment their vocabulary and get their diction to be a little bit more precise and on point when they write. So here's the deal. Here's kind of the philosophy behind this. So I call this teaching vocabulary through retrieval. And I contend with my students. I say this to them all the time. And it's kind of a boosting of their confidence as writers. I say you're far smarter than you give yourselves credit for. Deep in the recesses and folds of your memory, you have thousands of words that you just do not use. They're there, but you have to pull them forth when you write. And I say just by, being a human in existence for 15, 16, 17, 18 years, you've sponged so many words and they're there. They're locked inside your head, inside your noodle. But what you do when you write is that you have to bring forth those words. So like I'm a poet. I write textbooks. I write poetry. I've published a lot over the years. And I tell my students this. When I write, I exercise the pause. So I'll be, writing a poem or working on my textbook, and I'll just pause and I'll say, what's the right word? What's the right word? What's the right word? And oftentimes our students don't do that. They just hastily go from start to finish and put forth a lackluster effort and don't really buy in and invest much time into their writing. It's just, a compliance thing for many of our students, get it done, get the grade. So I ask for greater buy-in and encourage my students to exercise the pause. And there are some games that I play with my students in which we do this, and I'm going to show you one today. So again, students know way more words than they think they know. And deep in those folds, there are thousands of words. So here's something else though, and I'll make more videos about this. This can't stand alone, right? In my classroom, I have word academies, and I get into this in my mastermind class, and I'll talk about it in the textbook that I'm writing with Tim. And I do real intensive word study academies with my students. So been teaching 20 years, and I noticed that students are reading far less quality literature. I think students are doing a lot of reading, like social media reading, but they're not exposed to high level vocabs in there. Nothing to really get them to stretch their vocabs to any extent. So we have to do a few things, and I'll show you in another video how I fill those vocabulary gaps. So for this one, I gamify it and do a family feud. So I split the class into two teams, and my classes are about 22, anywhere from 18 to 22, so it's a little bigger than your traditional family feud. And I give them sentences like this. And I have two students come to a table. So I have a table in the center of my room, and they just face each other. I'm the game show host, and I'll read the sentence. The sentence has a blank, and the kid has to quickly tap the, I have a bobblehead, like two bobbleheads. They have to tap the bobblehead, and the first kid to touch the bobblehead utters their vocabulary word. And you may, if you're familiar with my templates and have seen my videos, you hear me referencing something that I call tier 2 level vocabulary. And by tier 2, I just mean your average run-of-the-mill SAT level word. So I implore my students to fill in the blank with a tier 2 level word, and then I rate those. I'm the game show host, so the kids get angry at me. They're like, my word's better. So I love that because they're invested, and that sense of competition and collaboration goes a long way. So here's an example where two students would square off. His mother could not have said it more blank. Absolutely no video games until all of your homework is done. So students know a lot of words, and inevitably someone's going to say adamantly, emphatically, sternly. They're going to come up with those words. And I rank them in terms of which is the best fitting word. So students have to know that there are good words, but there are the best words, like the bestest of the restest. So what I do is I I rank them. So in this PowerPoint, you can type them in. And so the first two students come to the table, smack the bobblehead, offer their words, and I give them points or I give them no points. The next two groups come up, so students 3 and 4, and they offer their words, different words. So I usually have 4 groups come per sentence, per Feud question, and we just fill in the blanks with as many words as possible, and then I rank them and offer points. And I don't know if you can see my arrow here, but the arrow on the left side, the double arrow, and the double arrow on the right side, you can hit those and add the points to the team score. And I just have it be a competition. So I think adamant is probably the best word. So the kid that says adamant, I would put in number 1, and that's a 40-point question. Emphatically, some could make the argument that could be number 1, but I'm the game show host. I make the rules. So I'm going to say, emphatically is number 2, 30-point, and just go through them that way. And we might not get 8 words. We might run out of steam, but just rank them and give the points to the teams. So here's another example. I honestly couldn't understand a word he said. It was like he had marbles in his mouth. He was speaking so, and then students just bust out their tier 2s. And we go back to the template. It does this every time. It goes through this process. And again, I just go through and rank them. And you can do this for as long as you want, right? You could take a whole block if you wanted to. Just do it as a warm-up exercise before you write. But ultimately for this template, I have 10 sentences. This is Feud number 3. I go all the way to Feud number 10. And it says, because he was exhausted, he walked so blank to his class. As a result, he was pretty late. So students might come up with languidly, is a good word. Words in that wheelhouse that they can come up with. So this is a pretty cool exercise that I do with my students, just word retrieval. They have these words. If they exercise the pause in their writing, you can see crisper diction, more precise, more accurate diction, more exactitude with their word choice. And that's one thing that we want in their writing. Get academic sounding without cop an academic tone without sounding like a goon. And don't be pretentious. Don't have that idea that $1 million words equate to good writing. Have balance and have some good voice rhythm and flow. You do this in addition to the sentence constructs that I've showed in a couple of my videos. Your students are going to improve pretty exponentially as writers. So if you want this PowerPoint, I can send it off to you. You can email me at teachingwritingcoach@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to send that off to you. Just in the subject heading or in the body, let me know what you're requesting, because I got a lot of videos up, and I'll be more than happy to send that off. So again, it's teachingwritingcoach@gmail.com. So hopefully you find this to be useful and you could have a lot of fun with your students while learning some vocabulary. So happy teaching and happy writing. Take care for now.